Hi, good day. My name is Carlos and welcome back to my channel. And I'm just going to share to you my first deck playing in Standard back then in 2007. And it's called Angelfire. And I'm so nostalgic on this deck because was the first deck that I've used back then in 2007. And I grind this deck once I learned that it would only last for 8 months or 7 months due to rotation of Standard. And I'm so nostalgic with this deck, and I created a certain version of this one in Modern, which I will tackle in the next videos. So let's start, and let me share to you my thoughts on, not thoughts, but let me show you my deck tech and the typical twist. Alright, so let's start first with my mana base. So technically, as you have noticed, I have no shock lands because shock lands are quite expensive. They cost around $20 to $25. Well, it depends on how you haggle it. So, but that's the market price, $20 to $25. And I do have now those shock lands because they are reprinted in Return to Ravnica, and they are much cheaper. That cost around $10 to $12 at that time when I purchased it. So anyway, as you can see, that's my mana base, and I have 2 bounce lands, the typical basic lands. And I do have a Calcium Pulse, which is a charge land, and I do have 2 Ursus Factory, which I have a mini combo in it. I'll discuss it on the next minutes. And I have a Signets to accelerate my mana and help me fix my mana as well. Alright, so as you can see, here's my creature. So the Cortusar, Lightning Angel, Fireman Angel, and Aeon Chronicler. So technically, Cortusar provides me a card advantage. Lightning Angel provides me the offense and defense. Fireman Angel helps me to survive in the control decks. Those decks, normally those control decks, are the ones who exhaust you. Technically, they are very defensive and to the point of exhaustion. After being exhausted, they'll start beating you up. So normally Fireman Angels help me to survive that exhaustion because, as you can see, it has plenty of abilities and you gain 1 life in every turn. So if you have 4 of them in the battlefield play or in the graveyard, you'll gain 4 life. And you will see also her last ability, that he can go back from your graveyard to the play. So technically, to be honest, this Fireman Angel helps me to survive in long games. And Aeon Chronicler provides me card advantage as well, similar to Cortusar. And sometimes you can abuse it by suspending it many manas, so, suspend it for a long time so that you can draw and draw and draw in card. And the moment that he came to the play, normally he is around 4/4, around 5/5. And you have 5 cards as well. So Aeon Chronicler helps me to replenish my card if I run out of cards. And Cortusar provides me as well a card advantage and an offense defense. So normally, as you can see on the upper part of creatures, Cortusar and Lightning Angels are my beaters normally. They're the one who plays offense and defense. And Fireman Angels and Aeon Chroniclers are technically the late beaters, or technically the heavy hitters in the long run. Alright, now for the spells of the deck. So I have 4 Lightning Helixes and 4 Wrath of Gods. So technically, I've already featured that on my Modern Boros Burn deck. You can see it on my channel or recommendations or whatever. So normally, instead of buying another set of that one, I just reuse it. Why fix if ain't broke kind of thing. And I have a compulsive research that allows me to draw cards and discard a land card. And normally, it's a good combination with Fireman Angel so that I can put Fireman Angel in the graveyard and gain life. And I have 2 Loxodon Warhammers so that my creatures will be effective. So as you can see, it provides you +3/+0 trample and gain life. So normally my creatures that I've shown you on my previous, on the previous minutes of this video, it allows them to become stronger. So normally it serves like a weapon to enhance their strength. And I have a Mesa Pegasus for late games, so normally it creates Pegasus tokens, so I can swarm if any case. So normally, Loxodon Warhammers or Warhammers and Sacred Mesa should be remand in the net decks or the decks back then. However, it's quite expensive, so I just used Loxodon Warhammers, much cheaper than Sacred Mesa. So I just adapt on the situation. So brief pause on that one. Alright, so right now we have quite a mini combo on my deck. So as you can see, the Loxodon Warhammer and the Urza's Factory. So normally, what I did is that in the late game, for example, all of my resources have already exhausted, and Fireman Angels can no longer go back into play or battlefield for some reason, and my creatures are all destroyed. At least I can still create a 2/2 assembly worker tokens in the late game. And instead of just becoming a 2/2 assembly worker, I will equip it with the Loxodon Warhammer. So normally my creature is still, a threat to my opponent because those creatures are now equipped with this hammer. So normally it's just like a mini combo on my deck. So it helps me to survive the long games. So as you can see, just imagine a assembly worker holding a war hammer, and it also gives me life. So that's just a simple mini combo on my deck. Alright, we are now on the sideboard part. So just to keep it simple, on the top part, it's an anti-aggro decks because you're gaining life. And if you would notice, I put some signets because just an additional acceleration because I just want to accelerate much faster, and that one signet matters. And again, those three cards, the Fate's Fetters and the Sunhome Enforcers, are gaining life. So that's an anti-aggro dex. So as you can see, Set's Tiger is an anti-storm deck because normally the damages that being provided by storm decks are coming from red source. So I'm just gonna play it, and I'm just gonna choose protection from red. And then for the Detritivore, it against Tron decks. So as you can see, if you suspend it, and whenever you remove a time counter, destroy non-basic land. So it helps me to prevent Tron from keeping online, which is a very difficult to handle back then if Tron decks becomes online. I tell you, even in modern, it's very tough to handle, literally. So we have to prevent Tron from getting online. And take possession is just, if there's some juicy permanents like Teferi or other permanents that are juicy on the other side, instead of killing it, why you do just take it, since that it is split second. So relatively it cannot be countered. So relatively it's not literally cannot be countered. Maybe they can look some loopholes on it. Alright, so there you have it. So that's my Angelfire deck that I've used back then in 2007, and I've used it from January until September because of the standard rotation, and it's quite nostalgic to me. Actually, it's nostalgic to me because this is my first competitive deck, and I played tournaments and I grind, and normally I played 2 to 3 times a week. Well, it depends if there's some emergency. However, if there's a free time, literally I maximize it 3 times a week. So there you have it. So just like and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and have a great and wonderful day, and see you soon.